Are we really headed for a third ports package fiasco? The European Commission is gearing up to launch a new package of measures, possibly legislation, we don't know, aimed at regulating the port services industry. This comes just a few years after the European Parliament torpedoed the second attempt to regulate the industry. The first attempt was also rejected back in 2003. To judge by the public statements made by the Brussels Transport Commissioner Siim Kallas, the remaining port monopolies will be brought to heel. Mr. Kallas has been talking in particular about maritime pilotage, and many are expecting him to propose measures, again legislation possibly, we don't know, to extend the use of pilotage exemption certificates across the European Union. Separately, there has also been a European Commission study on the remaining monopolies that unionised labour enjoys on Europe's quaysides. Mr. Kallas, if he wished, could launch a review into this area as well in an attempt to dismantle these so-called monopolies. Obviously, this is likely to provoke strikes. In fact, there already have been the first strikes in Europe in 2012. Would he be prepared to be the man who provoked strikes, or will he decide to play it safe? We don't know. To a certain extent, however, reform is already taking place. In Ireland, Portugal and Greece, the three countries that have been bailed out by the European Union, there are clauses in the agreements which actually force these countries to reform the port sector, including unionised labour, in fact. These measures have been imposed by the so-called Troika, which comprises the European Commission, the International Monetary Fund and the European Central Bank. While the talk has been tough, some suspect that Mr. Kallas will actually not translate his hard words into concrete action here in Brussels. Euro MPs have already said no twice to port services legislation, which was a real slap in the face for the European Commission. In fact, legislation has never been rejected twice, other than that specific case. Will the Transport Commissioner want to go down as the man who tried and failed a third time? That said, the parallels between what's happening now and what happened the last time are to a certain extent eerie. The European Union surveys suggest that port users are by and large satisfied with the level of service they receive today. Around 70 or 80% say they're satisfied across different industries. Given that the industry doesn't seem to be broken, why fix it, some say. It's possible, therefore, that in order to avoid large controversy, Mr. Kallas will, instead of hard legislation, propose what is known in Brussels as soft legislation, which essentially amounts to guidelines, not laws. That way he could say that he has taken action without really changing much. This is just one of the issues we're looking at on the Maritime Watch. Why don't you check out the free content that you can find below this video.